So, Ann, just how large of a bust are we talking about here?
Enough, Holly, that the feds will most likely be involved in finding out where all that fake cash came from, who was behind it, who else was behind it, rather, and just how did they make it. Police raided the home, Southeast Metro. This is Antioch and True Long Drive is the home where it happened, right here. And you may see an officer or two there still this morning. The bust happened last night, but police say that they found about $6,500 worth of fake money and a small amount of drugs yesterday. Earlier this year, though, police say they found a much larger amount of drugs at the same house, including 1,250 grams of marijuana and about 300 grams of cocaine. A big stash there. And here are the suspects. The first one, Crystal Churn, was charged with criminal simulation in connection with that funny money. Her and the second suspect, Jim Abernathy, were charged for the drugs that were found at the home. As I mentioned, the bust happened last night, but if you live on True Long Drive, you may see an officer or two today, because that's pretty typical when there's a large case like this, a large investigation that will be ongoing when there is counterfeit money involved.
Now here's Ann with more.
Yeah, scary situation, Ian and Holly. The employee that called police said there's a rocket in the store and it's possibly live. So police showed up. They were prepared for a possible explosion at this Army supply store. And according to reports, they actually built a perimeter around the outside. They had firefighters standing by just in case something happened. This is the online store for GI Depot, the store in Putnam County where this all occurred. And police say when they got there, they went inside. They found that a customer had brought in a 36-inch military rocket. Yeah. Employees said that the customer was trying to actually sell it to the store, hoping that they would want to resell it, but then employees got really scared, and that's why they made the call over to police. So police end up confiscating the rocket. They find out that it was not live. That was the good thing. But they actually ended up going back to the customer's home because the customer had reportedly told employees he had more rockets where that one came from. So they searched his home, didn't find anything else, took the rocket on with them.
So walk us through what happened overnight, Ann.
You can imagine how horrified the cashier must have been, Holly and Ian. First, the gunman with that pantyhose over his face points the gun right at the clerk, but then he asks for all the money in the cash drawer. This is a shell over on Charlotte Pike. So he gets the money, but then this is probably the most violent part of this story. The gunman forces the clerk inside a bathroom, having no idea what's going to happen, but thankfully that's where it all ended. The robber took the opportunity to run away and was never found by police. But this morning we do have a little description for you. Police say this person was a 5'3" black man with crooked teeth. That's the only real description we have. And if you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers this morning.
And what are police saying happened here? What's the deal?
According to the arrest report, Ian and Holly, both of the owner's dogs had to be euthanized because they were hurt so badly. According to the arresting officer, the dog owner and defendant, Cameron Taylor, was seen by a neighbor abusing one of the dogs in his driveway in Goodlettsville. She kept driving. She didn't want to draw attention to herself, and she called police. The suspect's mother reportedly came home and then found one of the dogs in very bad shape. And according to reports, Taylor told police he killed the dogs. He intended to kill them because he wanted to leave the house and because he hates his mother. So he was taken in for a mental evaluation to Skyline Madison. He was charged with aggravated animal cruelty. And this report even indicates that officer who responded to this was immediately relieved at the end of his shift just because of how traumatic the situation was, Ian and Holly.